Good morning. So we're just gonna do, I wouldn't even know if I'd call it a tutorial. Well, I mean it is, but we're just gonna keep it nice and simple, straightforward. So we just grabbed our static ploppable nuclear plant, and just because I already have some over here that are sunk, I'm just gonna quickly go like that, and we got perfect ring just sitting on top of the ground. Hey, 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 it's Yogi Bear. Ooh. Zero out of 10 would not pet. Anyways, let's head back over here to our picka-nicka baskets. So we got our power plant, suck it into the ground. We're just stuck with these outer rings just sitting over the surface there. And what we are going to do is we're going to go over to our surface tab, hit miscellaneous, and then this guy right here, clip surface. This is what we are looking for today. And we are just gonna kind of go around the outer bit here. And we're gonna fill in this circle. The other day, when I was first doing this and figuring out how to make it work, Area Bucket actually let me fill this whole thing in just by clicking inside the circle, which I was ecstatic about. And then it just it stopped doing it. No longer does it. So back to doing it manually. So we got a bit of a red tinge over this one, nothing on this one. And then we'll hit escape to close this, and boom, we got a hole in the ground. Just drops into the abyss. Which is pretty neat. So we're just gonna do this one real quick. I was just gonna do the one cooling tower just to show how it works, but I'm also gonna put the clipping surface on this one too, just to show why you gotta mess with the terrain. It's necessary once it's in the water. So as you see here on the ground, clips through. You can see under the terrain, no problem. But once we go out here and, well, let's just drop it next to the other one. Now you can see, just like that. Oh, let's lower it down a little bit. But you can see the water does not care that there is something blocking it. It is just gonna go right through it anyways. Oh, we went down a little too low. Excuse me. Alright, so yeah, let's stick with right there. Honestly, I don't think this is important, so we'll leave it for now. If need be, I'll raise this surface, but I don't think it's necessary. So we're gonna go over to our level terrain. About 100 seems to be a good spot to start. So we're just gonna go over to the land. Let's see. Well, let's start with 527. We might bump it up to 528, but we'll start with 527, see how that works. So we'll get it pretty well centered and then just go whoop. And we'll let that fill out. We do have a bunch of excess now on the outside, but that is a-okay because we're going to fix that up shortly. So now that we have the terrain there, all of a sudden, the water is no longer an issue, which is excellent. That is what we want. So now we're going to go to the paths. We're going to skip past this guy. We're going to go straight for the wide pavement. And we are... Oh, hold on. We don't have quite enough space. So we'll bump this up to 150. Ooh, that's such a big difference. Alright, so now we are just going to line this up right about here. And we're using the continuous tool because it's got the best curves. And right about there looks good. So we got 121 on the meters. Wrap it around. And there we are. So there's a bit of a gap here. Seems fine here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to find our nodes. And, well, first off, let's just make sure everything is the same height. And it seems this side's the worst, so we'll start with this side. We're just going to grab that. And... oh, autosave strikes again. So we're just going to try and line this up right to the edge there. Right about there should be good. We'll come back and fix that if need be. Then we'll grab this one and we'll do the exact same thing. We're just going to scoop that in a little. And then we'll grab this one. Same thing. Get it kind of lined up there. Good enough. And there's our last one. Oop. We accidentally selected the building 2. So we'll just slide that over. Now, normally you would want to select exactly what you're working with. Move it works a lot better when you're just selecting what you need. Unfortunately, I have loaded my game while I was already in game, and that tends to break move it. So as you can see, I have nothing selected and I can just select everything, which is kind of annoying. Hopefully that does get sorted out in an update at some point, but it's not the end of the world. I live with it. I'd rather have, oh, excuse me. I'd rather have that minor inconvenience of having to be a little more diligent versus waiting 20-ish minutes for the game to load. Because that is honestly the most painful part about this game is the loading times. Now, I know full well that is a hardware issue. That is my PC. Now, we're going to go back here to the level terrain, and we're going to shrink this bad boy right down, because we don't want it super, super big. Hold on. We need to turn this into a kite. There we go. Alright. Now, we're going to select the ocean floor way down there, and we're just going to ease right into this. Nice and gently. We don't want to get too close in there, but we do want to eliminate as much of the terrain as possible. don't want to overdo it, because if we overdo it, that is what happens. Now that might sort itself out, so we'll just let it do it. Let it do its thing. But that is why we have to use the path. Just to add a little bit of thickness for the terrain to hide in. Because you just simply cannot do this with the terrain without the path. It will not work. You'll end up with this, and it will not fix itself. Now, granted, this might not fix itself either. I might have to, redo this. But the path is there to help with the terrain and hide it a little bit, because it does need to be on the thicker side. Which, it is what it is. I would very much prefer not to have to use the path, but when you are doing stuff like this and using the tools at your disposal, sometimes you're doing things that, wasn't exactly the intention maybe for the mod. But as you can see, it's shrinking up now, so if we just speed this up a little bit, we should see almost all of this disappear. So we still got a couple spots, not a big deal. What I would do, just because, I mean, you can see the white terrain line there. It's jagged, it's squiggly, it's all over the place, but it's pretty consistent going around. So the fact that it's leaking here and not anywhere else, we can hide that. So we'll just go over here, and let's see. Do we want a big one? You know what? Let's do all three. So we're gonna scoot over here to the mainland. Excuse me. And we are gonna, let's do something like that. Something like that. And, oop, I might have gone a little too far out there, but oh well. So we're just gonna do something a little like that, and then we'll move it, grab all those to terrain height, and you know what? My thought was correct. Those big ones are just too dang big. So we'll come back to the medium ones here. Hello? Huh. I'm inside the map, right? Yes. Oh, there they are. Okay, so what's the deal here? Ah, I see. I don't know when I accidentally clicked on that, but I clicked on it at some point. Alright, so let's grab these again, go down to terrain. Now, this might be a little bit of overkill, probably too many, but I would rather have too many than not enough. Oh, look at that. While we were gone, it fixed itself. Well, we will do this anyways, because it is fairly common to see with these overflow drains is, debris and plant matter and whatever else will start growing kind of around the edges if not maintained properly. So, okay, so we will turn this around because I'm now realizing that this is technically ground, which is why it did not lower. And we will do it on this side. There we go. And then we'll just skirt that over here. And that really did spread them out, but that's okay. We did not need all of these. Like I said, I would rather overdo it and delete some than not have enough and then end up with issues. Okay, so it will not let me... Ah, there we go. Makes sense. I mean, I am technically underground. Just because you can see through the floor doesn't mean it's not there. Yeah, I might have just got rid of too many. So we'll just grab these guys and we'll skimmy over here. Oop. This. Hello. And then go there. Ooh, a little bit of lag. The autosave. Okay, so now let's deselect the surface because I know I just accidentally. There we go. And let's see, can we? Yeah, we'll raise these guys up. Come on. Oop, oop, that's not what we want. Alright, let's try this again. So, we don't want all the ones up there, but we do want all the ones down here. So, let's slide through here. Can we get this one? There we go. Oh, no. We had it. There we go. Alright. And this one. Ooh, this one's stubborn. So you know what? You can join your friends. There we go. And then there. Perfect. Alright. And then we'll shrink you down there. Now, it's not beautiful, but it definitely does the job that it's intended to do. And the railings do serve a double purpose of, quote-unquote, blocking debris. But that's it. That is how you make a giant overflow drain.